What's going on? It's Ryan here, CEO and head quant at Happy Trader. Wanted to go over Netflix today. Stock of the hour, stock of the day, stock of the week. Something very interesting that Happy Trader, our indicator, picked up was that we were going to go to the moon on Netflix. So this is pretty interesting stuff. So we're looking at the 30-minute chart. We had a buy signal. This is something I talk about in a lot of other videos. So when we have a really high IV and high valuation tech stock, and we get a buy signal and then we get a subsequent early uptrend signal, that means that all of our criteria sets are in place. And then if we look at kind of the shaping of this Illuma trend here, you can see that it started chopping upward, but then it flattened out. Now, flattening out can mean uncertainty, but in this case, we had this signal all the way back on Monday, January 22nd, and the earnings were yesterday on January 23rd after the bell. So we had a really big heads up on this macro uptrend play. And today's video is going to be looking at some of these macro trends with Netflix. Now, this is a very interesting stock, and there's a couple different ways to trade it. It's hard to trade if you don't have an idea of how to trade ultra volatile stocks, but you can see a lot of the times you'll get a little run up over the course of a couple days, and then you get a big dump. And I can only imagine those are the bigger traders selling off multi-day moves and then using retail as liquidity, right? So you could see that we were looking like we were going to go up, but that wasn't enough to tell us that we were going to moon like that, because look at this candle here right at the end of the day yesterday. It was a sell candle, right? Then the earnings came out and bang, that sucker went way up, and those calls definitely printed if you were in the calls. So if we put the indicator back on and you had, let's say, happytrader.io sentiment AI with Lumatrend, wink, wink, and you set the alert on the 30-minute chart, and you simply just had to put a once per bar alert, and you could just put alert by AI, right? And create that and then have it go to your app, go to your email, go to even your webhook if you're a quantitative person like me who has automated trading software, or just play a handbell sound on your computer. Or if you just want to throw icing on the top, send an email to SMS. You can create that alert, and you would have had that alert on the 22nd, and you could have potentially bought at least a straddle, right? So let's talk about that for a minute. A strategy of a straddle, right? So we're just going to take this move right here, isolate it, and we're going to talk about what a straddle would entail. So a straddle is going to be when you buy, let's say earnings are coming up, and let's say your premiums are getting bloated up, right? Well, you can sell strangles, you can buy straddles. Those are two ways to capitalize. Now, let me explain the difference between the two. And then there's also just buying debit options. So it's going to be three things. So when you're buying the debit options, you're going to be just going, let's say, call or put. When you buy the straddle, you're going to get this buy signal, this uptrend signal. And then if it's an earnings play, you could play out of the money on both sides to reduce the effect. Because remember, when the security moves and puts it into the money, especially on something high IV, and you have like a heads up going on, like what we had here pre-earnings, that might be a situation potentially. Well, even, I mean, for me, this is what I would do is go out of the money. So if the price is here and we get an uptrend signal, we're at 486, I might buy like the 496 call to offset the high amounts of premium. So that's one way to trade it. So you could put a call here and then buy a put here out of the money short term just for the earnings. So you could do a week out or less, right? Now, on the other side of things, if we squish the chart down, if you're a theta seller, you could get the uptrend signal. You could have sold a put vertical, and you can do that either at the money, which would have been 100% winner. You can do it slightly out of the money, which would be a 100% winner, but more risky. Or you could do it way out of the money, which is at the point to where you may want to set a stop loss because you have such an asymmetric risk reward. Now, the fact that Happy Trader was able to predict this earnings play even impresses me as the person who developed this over the last 2 years. With these uptrend signals and downtrend signals are where our secret sauce lays, where we're able to set not only the potential trend reversals, because that's all these buys and sells are potential. You can see it right here. Look, we had a potential sell, but it went up, right? So you're not going to do yourself any good other than maybe to use this as a stop, or just sell into strength, right? But your uptrend and downtrend signals, if you subscribe to the channel, are what we backtest on a lot of different securities. And you can see that even just a rudimentary strategy like just going from downtrend to uptrend at the very least is going to result in, on most securities and in most time frames, it's going to be profitable. And you can see here that there are a lot of ways to skin a cat on this one. You could have sold the put vertical, capitalized on the theta decay, meaning the IV crush. So all the options premium just gets bloated up to the moon, basically right up until the event. And then bang, that's where you get your big move. And then that IV crushes, the options become essentially worthless or might lose even half their value, even if they're a little further out in time. So that's what you might consider if you sold a strangle. But for me on this particular, getting a buy signal, then getting an uptrend like this, I mean, for me, if I just reset the chart view here, if I'm getting this setup here, buy uptrend, and I'm getting it 2 days before earnings, I'm probably going to go with the out of the money straddle. So out of the money straddle is going to be, for me, the way that I would play this, and this would have just printed like crazy because you would have paid going out of the money way less, even with inflated IV. So, but you're out of the money, right? So the security is not in the money, so the option's going to be worth less. So that's a really key thing, that regardless of IV and crush and stuff like that, if you're selling options, you could get blown out of the water. I mean, if you're shorting an option without any protection on the upside, you could run into a GameStop scenario. You don't want that to happen. And that's what's so good about Happy Trader, is without it, you just really have no idea what's happening to the market at all. But with it, it's like, whoa, all of a sudden we have a lot of like data points and stuff that we can use to go off of. So for me, this earnings play, seeing this all the way back on Monday, and today being Wednesday, earnings were on Tuesday in this area. We started to get bought up a little bit, and that was cool. But you can see that a lot of the folks that bought in down here into this strong buying sold right off. So you can see that that's another way to go about things here. And again, like I said, for me, it just would have been no brainer, really far out of the money. If we were trading at, let's say, 486, 485, you can go all the way out to the 500. I mean, look, it's Netflix, right? Super high IV stocks combined with happytrader.io can result in a really good signaling of what's to come, right? So that's something I wanted to go over. Now, the other beautiful thing, we'll keep looking at Netflix. We'll go down to more granularity. Let's reset the chart view at a 5 minute. You can see that we had the same signal even on the 5 minute chart, right? And it instantly adapts. And if we go all the way out to the 4 hour chart, you can see that we had a buy signal, but this is such a macro level that this would be for like a major swing trader that's buying like leaps. You go out to the 4 hour, Happy Trader's still going to help you there. You got your buy signal, you have your uptrend signal relatively close for the time frame that we're looking at, and bang, we just went up and up and up and up and up. Never had anything other than these potential sells. They got flattened out. You can see flat Lumitrend, and you can see it on the buy side too, but then we had our breakout, right? So this uptrend signal was never invalidated. This downtrend signal was an absolute ripper. This one was a scalp. This one was a nice move right here. And then going into even bigger moves. Look at this one, buy signal, uptrend, big move to the upside. Sell signal, flattening a Lumitrend and downtrend, maybe wouldn't take that trade. Getting a flattening out and then getting a carve up like this, buy a Lumitrend, uptrend, up, carve, carve. That's going to be a bigger move, right? So let's go back just even further in the 4 hour time frame, and you can see buy, uptrend, sell, downtrend. This one here canceled. We'll go back a little further. We have buy, uptrend, and wham. I mean, if you're just a smart trader, you could just scalp this move. That's just how we like to backtest Happy Trader, to show viability, right? To show how well it does, right? In different environments, different time frames. But that's not necessarily how you have to trade it, because think about it again. If you're trading theta strategies, like you're selling like 90-day, 120-day out leaps or something, and you want to just close them early, well, hey, you could sell a put vertical down here, capitalize on the theta decay, and then get the uptrend signal. If you're someone who's in more of a hurry, you can go to the 5 minute chart, reset the chart view, and then you can sell vertical spreads. So that way you're not getting chopped up between these signals, right? So that's something to note. It's a really smart way to go about trading between these signals. And in fact, we're working on a backtester that's going to simulate that, right? So we're able to show you what a put vertical at X delta was able to do overall, right? So that's really exciting stuff. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. I love nerding and geeking out. If you're into this kind of thing and you're looking for a way to get empowered with what's going on with the market instead of just seeing candles and price action is only what already happened. We aim to be a predictive AI indicator with good, accurate signaling expectancy on most securities, on most timeframes. You're never going to get the golden goose. You're never going to win 100% of your trades. Even the best hedge funds are only doing 60%. We have backtesting videos on the futures that are showing that we are doing hundreds, if not thousands of percent on one single contract using happy traders. Again, it would be just like a debit call would have been for me, an out of the money debit call. It would have been a straddle, meaning you're going both ways. They don't want GameStop to happen. So that's just a little lesson on the market, what is going on with Netflix, current state of Netflix as relates to Happy Trader. Sentiment AI with the Luma trend, you can see and learn more by subscribing. Go to happytrader.io and you can see live trading in action on the website. Again, my name is Ryan. I'm the CEO and head quant here at happytrader.io. Good luck, have a great day, and happy trading.